Hey everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully this is the last part. I'm trying to get to the point to just to get where I am, because I know I say this every time. I could talk a lot, okay? My life could be a book series, okay? But I would have to label it as fictional because nobody would believe, you know. It reminds me of that was the author that was featured on like Oprah or something, like all the little pieces, and then come to find out like he had made all his stuff up, but mine's made up. Okay. Anyway, all that to say, supposed to have a regular podcast today with podcasts with friends, but life has been lifing. There's been a lot of changes and stuff going on, and getting adjusted to that. Also, just not being dependent on other people, or being discouraged either when things are supposed to happen and they don't happen. People go through different things in life, and we're not always going to be, on the same page or all that good stuff. So I'm also trying to come up with a plan moving forward on how to conduct the podcast if it does end up just being me. One big change is that you guys won't see Akeem on the podcast anymore. He's going to be out of state. Other things too, but mostly he'll be out of state. So let's move forward to continue from, I think, where I left off last time, where I was talking about me was when the big C hit and I moved to the Bronx. And I'm not even doing anything, honestly. I'm not going anywhere. I'm tired. I'm just going to moisturize and talk. So I had moved back to the Bronx. I was pregnant with my she's 4 at the time. I was pregnant with that daughter in the middle of the beginning of the pandemic. Forced to moving out of fear. That's something else too. If you're not a believer, you should become one. Okay? You should. It'll save you. Okay? But I'm just happy. But moving in fear. I let fear direct me and guide me and force me into a situation that I knew wasn't going to be good. Even though I was with this person for so many years and everything, we were never really together, if that makes sense. I always had mine and he always had his, and that's how it was. And anyway, so I'm back in the Bronx. Like I said, it's just a real uncomfortable situation. Crowded space, 1-bedroom apartment, several people staying in said 1-bedroom apartment. Me being pregnant, and his secrets started to get exposed. So I had been with him for several years, and I had been to his home country. I met his family, so you would think you know everything about a person. But I only knew what was presented to me, and I'm very much that person that I'm learning now too, because I always said don't look for something unless you want to get hurt. So a lot of stuff I just wouldn't question. I feel like what's done in the dark will come to light. Excuse me, I'm still trying to work on this lighting at this vanity. But everything that's done in darkness will come to light, and I still believe that. But I just mean, I really just don't go looking for anything. So, while me and him have been together, mind you, there is a language difference, because he speaks Hausa. I do not. And I understand a lot of Chui, which is another Ghanaian language. For the most part, I can understand enough of it to get the gist of what's going on in the conversation, but that's about it. So I just tune out, like whenever he's having his conversations and everything. I just I just tune out. It's like, it's not my business. And a lot of times he would get off the phone and he would tell me like what's going on and everything like that. And he's conducting a lot of business, or he has family back home as well too. And family includes females. He would have phone calls and he would be talking to somebody, you know, and I wouldn't pay no attention to it. He's not telling me, shh, be quiet, go in the room. We're talking. We're all conducting. Sometimes he'd be in the living room. I'm talking to whoever was there at the time, or I'm yelling at the kids or whatever. I'm talking to him as well too. And he's talking. Everything was done. It felt normal. And there was one time where he had gotten a phone call, and I thought it was weird because a picture had showed up. It was a lady, and the name, let's say the name struck a chord in my mind. I don't know what it was exactly. It was just something. It struck something in my inner deep seated thoughts that I didn't know what it was trying to say. Okay, that was the Holy Spirit trying to tell me something, but I wasn't connecting the dots. And I looked. Like I said, it triggered something, but nothing bad or anything. It just triggered something. And he must have felt it too, because for whatever reason, when he got off the phone this time, it was my uncle's wife. Your uncle's wife. Okay. I was like, why is he telling me? Who's calling him? You had never done that before. I didn't care that it was another lady, you guys. I really didn't care. I genuinely didn't think anything about it. It was the name of the person who was calling. Like, you know how you save somebody's name in your phone and you can, you know, put whatever name. It was the name that was, I was like, why does that name look so familiar? But anyway, pushed it out of my mind, whatever. And I did start to notice that this lady is starting to call a lot. And he was explaining it to me that his uncle's having problems and the wife is calling him complaining, which isn't uncommon, to be fair. Scalp is dry, yeah. It's not uncommon at all, you know. It's not uncommon for him to get phone calls with stuff from different family members and everything. Yes, women and the guys. So, like I said, fine. Now, I'm getting friend requests. Okay? I'm getting friend requests. And I said, this is the same name that I saw come up. This is the same name that I saw come up on the phone, right? So I'm like, I don't do friends requests on my social media with just anybody. You have to be family. There has to be a reason. There's no need for us to be friends just because you know somebody who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, honey. You're not going to be all up in my business looking at my kids and personal family pictures and whatever. Boom, boom, boom. So she had sent a friend request, and I don't think I had my page privated. I don't believe so. So she had sent her a friend request. No, she didn't. She didn't send a friend request. She had liked a picture. And it was a picture of me and my siblings when we were younger. She had liked the picture. And I said, who is this? I don't know why it bothered me so much. She didn't do anything rude. She didn't say anything. She just liked the picture. But I don't know what. I do know what. That's the Holy Spirit trying to talk to me. So I went to one of the roommates who was there at the house at the time, who's like a brother to my ex. And I said, do me a favor, because you know you click on who's like or whatever. And I said, who is this? And he said, oh, wow. Why? She found you on Facebook? Says she. Yeah. His wife found you on Facebook. I said, oh, that's who she is. That's who she is. Because keep in mind, I didn't know who she was. I was like, oh, that's who she is. And then I felt like that was being messy. I felt like she was being unnecessarily messy. Maybe she accidentally liked the picture or whatever, but you're going around, you're looking for me, you're being unnecessary. Keep in mind too, whatever he's telling me back at me, whatever story he told me about her, right, is making me another reason why he's making me feel like she's being messy. So I called him and I told him, why is this lady seeking me now? Why? I don't want to know who she is. I don't need to know who she is. Why is she seeking me? And the page that she had done all this for, you could tell like she didn't even use the page. Like the page was years old. The page was years old. But in going to the page, I also found out that you had been with this lady for a super, super duper long time. Times that you went back home, you guys were together. So anyway, zoop, 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 zoop. Fast forward. He gets irate. When I say he gets angry, he gets angry. There was no sympathy. There was no understanding. There was no talking me through it. There was no trying to figure it out. It was instant anger. Yelling, cuss, I'm at work. That's what you want. That's what you want to do. I'm like, hello. And yes, I'm pregnant, so I'm super emotional. So I think I started crying, and I'm like, why are you talking to me like this? I'm just trying to talk to you, communicate with you about how I feel in the situation, get some understanding, some insight to what's going on, because clearly something is going on. There's a reason that she's searching for me. There's a reason. That didn't go well. It brought an extreme wedge. Not like there wasn't already one there, okay? There was already one there. But this became an even bigger wedge because, in all honesty, you guys, what I wanted from him was for him to leave that situation. I didn't not want him to be a father or anything like that. I just wanted it to be open communication, right? You're telling me that you're leaving that situation alone, your reasons for why you did it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So moving forward, be a parent, do what you're doing, but there shouldn't be any more secrets between us, right? You should be open. That's what I wanted. But that wasn't being done. And we had also made an agreement that if going forward, if he did decide to go back home, we would go together. And another thing that I don't think I mentioned was we had been building a house. We had been building a house back home for a couple of years and everything, and that I helped. Okay. And not much at first, but I'll get into that later. But that was the plan, was to, like, once the house was built and everything established, I had some business plans and stuff to get income going over there so that way it could permanently move there. It was something that I was seriously not even considering, that we were putting it into action. So that was the plan, right? So this became such a big point of contention between us, and he just completely changed. He completely changed in how he handled that situation between me and her, of him, her, and me. He handled the situation. I felt like once he knew I was pretty much stuck there, because now we're heavy in the pandemic. I can't go anywhere at all. It's not like people are already, people were dying. People were dying. You couldn't travel. You couldn't do anything. We didn't know what was going to happen the next day, if we were going to wake up or not. So it was like, where are you going? This little argument, shut up and sit down. And that's what I mean by he was being rude about it. So he was being rude about it. He would get up and Yeah, because he wasn't even at work. I think he was just out or whatever, because everything shut down, jobs and everything. And he would say, "Oh, I'm gonna take the kids to the park," which is cool. I'm happy because I'm pregnant, heavily pregnant by this time. I didn't want to go nowhere. It was getting into the summer months. It was hot. All these people, no AC. It was hot. You could take the kids outside. I can get a little bit of rest, fine. But then when my kids are coming to me and they're saying, "Mom, so and so almost got hurt because Dad's not watching," and so, blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Well, what is he doing?" All he's doing is he's on the phone. He's on the phone. He's yelling. He's arguing. He's yelling. He's arguing. And I'm like, "He's arguing, And I ask him, like, "What's going on?" And he would be like, "Oh, something, something." Then he would get mad. "Who told you that?" "Oh, my son." "Oh, you don't run your mouth. You stay out of my." And I'm like, "Why are you getting mad at the boy? He don't even know what's going on necessarily. Why are you getting mad at him?" Didn't make sense. So then when they start doing the money for the pandemic to help cover expenses and the unemployment and everything, I was able to recoup, get some the unemployment, and he was able, thank God, he listened to me and not doing that PPD loan, because that was ridiculous. Thank God he listened to me. And I thought I was gonna do my address, but I don't think so. Yeah, but we decided to really send money back home, because from the understanding, now the pandemic was definitely in Africa. I don't know what anybody wants to tell you guys, because I have friends that are from Nigeria, and a lot of people were trying to do this scamming thing. Well, she was a friend, and we're not friends anymore, because I'm not for the one or the two. And she was trying to tell people, "Oh, I'm here in Nigeria. There's no pandemic over here. Buy this medicine, buy this medicine." I'm like, no. The pandemic was very much there. It probably wasn't just as prevalent, but also there's not just a huge presence of, you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's like people aren't going to report it as much, because people are left to their own devices in certain countries that are considered quote unquote third world. They got to handle things themselves. And also being further out and more in the country, I think that's what saved a lot of these third world countries, because you're not in tight quarters and blah blah blah. So we were getting the money. That was helpful. I got the big, I think, like, I want to say it was like 10,000. Well, I can't even remember that was for, but it got 10,000, and I was like, okay, I definitely set half the money aside, sent the other half to help pay to finish the house, because the house had been started, but it was just like, want to finish it. And he was supposed to help me get a car. I'm the one who just ended up getting the car. He put all the money back to who knows what he was doing or whatever. And then as soon as everything, I gave birth, had my daughter, life was lifing, still not happy, arguments by this time. The lady was just getting, I guess by this time she had, I don't know the story behind her. I don't want to speak on her, because I was so angry at it. There was a point in time where I would have spoken, I would have been real nasty. But I realize now that we do a lot of hurtful things. We try to hurt people. So, and that includes me. She was trying to hurt me because she was hurt, and I was definitely trying to hurt her because I was hurt. So I don't want to speak on her. I don't know her. So, but there was a lot of back and forth. She was calling, she was being rude, she was being disrespectful. I was calling, I was being rude, I was being disrespectful. Had my daughter May of that year. Going through life. Thought the pandemic was gonna go away. Nope. But slowly but surely, little things started to happen. Little, it was work. He was able to, you know, get a job, start going back to work a little bit and everything. And then he hit me with like the following year. He hit me with right before, it wasn't even the following year. My daughter, I had her May 2020, and by March 2021, my son got hit by a car. So it was by the beginning of the year. By January, he told me he was going back to Africa to go visit. He had never seen his son. He had to see his son. And I wasn't angry that he was going back to Africa. I was angry that you just went ahead and you went against everything we agreed on. We agreed that when the time was right for you to go back home, when you decided you were going to go back home to visit, we were going to go together. You went ahead and you got your ticket and you just moved along. F me, F what I'm feeling. I don't matter. That's what I was hurt about. And then to top it off, a week before he was supposed to leave, my son was hit by a car. And he still left. He still left. He still left. When I say he still left, he left. And I have a new baby. She was just like, let's say like 8 months old or something like that, you know. New baby, not walking or anything like that. I have a new baby. I have a son that he's unable to walk at the time. He's on crutches and everything. And I have my older son who's like, he's the older son, but he's still a little kid. You left us to our own devices knowing that I'm unable to, I needed help. I needed help. I was carrying a baby on my chest, my son on my back because he's on crutches and he was just unable to work the crutches, you know. And we were going to places like the hospital. If anybody's from New York and you know Montefiore, the parking's ridiculous. So by the time we would find a parking spot, if we were lucky, this is even if you're paying for parking, if you're lucky, it's a journey to get to inside the hospital, and then it's another journey to get through because now you have the mask and everything like that, and then you have to walk. Like it's a journey. It's a good, not gonna lie, it's a good 1.5 mile walk between where you're gonna find parking and getting to where you got to get to inside the hospital, this particular place. He left me like that. I cried. I know I said this like so many times, but I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life. Like, not seriously, you know. I cried. And I begged him not to go. I tried to remind him of the promises that he made and why he wouldn't include me in these promises. And he didn't care. I said, if you go, I'm leaving. And he left. So I waited until I knew it was close to him to get back to, you know, of course, nobody wants to go into the shelter. I wasn't really working, if at all. I don't think I was able to work. Yeah, everything was still shut down. I didn't have the daycares, nothing's open. So no, I wasn't working. Thank God I had the vehicle. So I waited until it was closer time for him to come back. And then I left. I took my kids, went to the shelter. By this time, when I went to the shelter and I told them what was going on, that's a whole nother journey you have to go through with your kids carrying in there. You can't eat, can't drink, they don't care. Sat there, waited, told them what was going on. I thought I was a victim of domestic violence because it was just like, this is emotional, like, and financial and all these kind of things. And he had been abusive. Like, let's just be real. He had been abusive by this time. He had been abusive. Physically was more rare than the mental abuse. I'm going to be very, very clear that I can count on my hands the amount of times that he was physically abusive to me. Those happened far and few in between versus the mentally, and financial abuse. So I explained to them what was going on. And do you know these mofos placed me right down the street in the Bronx from where he was staying? And I was saying, like, how is this safe? How is this safe? But because what was going on in the world and da 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 da, like, they just put me in a family shelter. I did not qualify. Okay, so I'm in the shelter. I'm doing this thing by myself. He had found out that I was in the shelter by this time. And like I said, I was letting him converse and talk to his kids and everything like that. Celebrated my daughter's birthday. Took pictures, sent him the pictures. Y'all, why did I go take professional pictures of my daughter for her first birthday? Showed him the pictures. Sent him the pictures. My daughter's birthday's in May. His son's birthday's in June. Why the lady go take the same dang exact freaking pictures? And if it wasn't kids involved in this, just so y'all would say I'm crazy, I would show you the pictures side by side. It was just the boy and the girl. I was livid because once again, you're watching me. You're watching me, and I'm still hurt. So it was just like, it was just a horrible point between us. So he had come back, but I wasn't telling him where I was at. I was not telling him where I was at all, and he was angry. He thought that when he came back, he was going to convince me to come back. And once he realized he couldn't convince me, then he took to the insulting me, the degrading me. And that's when I'm being mentioned by being financially abusive, because it's not like he was doing much for these kids anyway, but now you're really not going to do anything, right? You're absolutely not going to do anything. So for his birthday in July, you remember there's Father's Day. So man, there's Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then his birthday. So for his birthday, because for Father's Day, I don't believe we were getting along, but for his birthday, we were okay. Enough for me to realize that, hey, I'm going to take these kids to get a card and something for his birthday. I don't have to talk to him. We weren't really talking, but you're talking to your kids. I don't have to talk to you. I'm gonna take the kids and you can say hi to your kids. I was even thinking, like, they can get out the car. You can sit at the park for a minute. I'll sit in the car. That's my way of thinking. You guys sing happy birthday to him, and got him like a slice of cake and everything. Pulled up in front of the building and called him, tell him come down here. This man spit on me. He spit on me. And when I say my big butt chased that man around the car, like, I could laugh about it now because I know how ridiculous I looked. But at the time, I didn't care. I chased him around that car and everything. I was so disgusted that he spit on me. He spit on me. And I'm trying to be good and nice person so you could see your kids. And you didn't have to interact with me at all. And he spit on me. You know why he spit on me? Because of what I had on. Because I'm a whore and I'm a slut. And what I have on, and I think what I had on was it doesn't freaking matter what I had on, okay? But that's his reasons behind spitting on me. So I calmed down. One of my friends worked down the block, and mind you, where we were at wasn't far anyway. It wasn't far. But I couldn't even drive to where we stayed at. I was so upset. I parked. I called my friend to come out where he worked at. He worked at another shelter that was around the block. I called him to calm me down, and everything. He talked to me. He calmed me down. And in the midst of all this, I had got some pictures. Y'all are going to be ashamed of me. But I had got some pictures of the woman when she was naked Yes, some naked pictures, because in the Muslim community, you're supposed to be a virgin and blah, blah, blah. This is my rationale. I'm not saying I'm right. This is my rationale. So I sent all her naked pictures to anybody and everybody. Everybody on his Facebook page, everybody on his Instagram, sent it to his mama, his dad, his brothers. I sent that picture to every single body. Anybody on his friends list, even people I didn't know. I sent the pictures to everybody. And then I have found a video while we were together. Not to top it all off, you were cheating on me with somebody else to top it all off. So I sent that video too. Hurt. When I say hurt people, sent that video. And when I'm telling you how I sent this video to everybody, and it was just in the span of 5 minutes, if that, 5 minutes. So from there to by the time I got to my friends, we talked a little bit and everything, and I told them the truth, like, oh my gosh, this is what I just did. I'm so angry. I'm so hurt. Da 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 da. I can't believe this. Instant regret. Like, I can't believe I did this because I look foolish. And now he's calling me. He's blowing me up private because I done blocked the man, but you can still call people private. He's cursing me out. You sent this. You sent the picture. My father to see. That's my wife. Da da da. F your wife. Okay. So you guys, that's all the stuff that had happened, and I blocked him, and I wasn't dealing with him. And like I said, if you're gonna be disrespectful to me, then how are you going to communicate with your kids? You have to communicate through your kids through me at this point, because first of all, your daughter just turned 1. Okay. And at the time, I can't remember how these boys are, because my son is 4, 9, 8. So he's probably 8 and 6. Let's say that. Either 5 and 7 or 8, 5 and 8 or something like that. 6 and 8, something like that. So I'm like, I blocked him. Do you know this man found out where I was at? That all your public information gets posted. You could pay some website and somebody could find out your address and everything. Phone number, because I had to change my phone number. And one day I'm sitting at the park with my kids. Not like it was far from the house, like I said. I just didn't, his reasons for going up this way. And this man found me. And when he found me, I called the police. You think the police ever came? No. Police never came. And he came every day. He didn't even care. He begged me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm changed. Oh, the lady, she did juju on me, and da 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 da. And here goes my dumb behind. Oh, she did juju on you? Okay, oh my gosh. I knew there had to be a reason that you didn't want to be the man you're supposed to be with me. I knew there had to be a reason. I knew. So yeah, let me believe that lie, okay? But also, to be honest with you guys, there was a fear. If I'm being honest with myself, there was a fear because I had contacted the police. They did not care. They did not care. I was not in imminent danger. They did not care. And police, for the most part, when police see that, they can see your records whenever you call. So when they see that you've had a dispute with somebody and nothing's ever followed through, 9 times out of 10, these police officers get so hardened, their heart gets so hardened, and they're like, I'm not going to go waste my time when there's a fire over here, there's this going on over there, this is going over here, and with this girl, she's going to keep going back to this guy. So, he harassed me for a couple of weeks. After a couple of weeks, the kids, oh, we miss Dad, I want to go back home, we don't like being in the shelter, da 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 da. I went back. As soon as I went back, I got pregnant again. Immediately. Got pregnant again. And same shit, different day. Same shit, different day. This time there was no sweet warm ups or anything like that. It was just like, you're a dumb bitch. You took my kids out of this house. I'll never forgive you for that. My kids should never know the shelter. You look at how you dress when you're going outside. You have no respect for yourself. You're a horrible mother. You're this, that, da 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 da. That's what it was. That's what it was. And I couldn't do anything right. And because I hadn't even completely healed the last time, I was really broken this time. It didn't take much to break me down this time. It didn't take much at all. Especially when I found out I was pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant with my son, I was told that it was they found 3 eggs. I went into the hospital because I was actually bleeding. And I didn't know that's an early sign. Sometimes when you have multiple pregnancies, that could be a sign there can be some bleeding. So I was thinking, I was thinking that this wasn't gonna stick anyway, but to be told they saw 3 eggs. And when I went home and told him, and I cried, again, I cried, he had no reaction. He was just like, oh, you trapped me. I trapped him. You guys, that's another thing too. People don't understand how there's intimacy when you're in abusive relationships. A lot of it's forced. And just because we say forced doesn't mean it's violent, but just means like, you can't, I'm not arguing with you. This is what you're going to do anyway. You're going to give me hell. You're going to bother me all day if I don't do this. Here, go ahead. That's how it was with me, at least. So now I'm pregnant. I found out that they said it's 3. I can't remember something. My daughter, I think she wasn't feeling good. He was insisting that I go to the hospital by myself, carry her. I had to get up, take the kids to school, and I couldn't leave the baby at the house while I took the boys to school. No, I had to get up, get them together, get the baby together, to walk to the car, because we live in New York City, guys. This is not no drive up in front of your house parking. This is hunting down your car trying to remember where you park, because you're lucky if you find parking in the Bronx. So, going through all that, I was struggling. Mentally struggling. I was unhappy. I felt stupid. My family, again, only back in the situation, nowhere to turn to, because I felt like when I went to the shelter and told them that I was going through domestic violence, nope, you don't qualify. When I called the police and asked them for help, nope, we're not coming. I don't have family out here. He had isolated me from all my friends. I had no friends. I felt completely alone. And I wasn't going to God at this time at all. At all. Didn't even cross my mind. Only time God crossed my mind when I said, why God, why me? That's the only time God crossed my mind. So, dropped the kids off at school. Pulled up in front of the house, looking for parking. Had just found parking. Went to pull my phone out, and I saw he had called me. And I was like, oh, And immediately he went in on me. Oh, what the F are you doing? And I was like, I just found you didn't even take her to the hospital. And I was like, yo, I don't think that it's necessary to take her. I can't remember all the stuff he was saying and everything. And I said, you know what? F you. Come get your daughter. You take her to the hospital. I can't remember. He said, oh, yeah, what kind of mother are you? I said, you come get her to the hospital. Come get her right now. I'm parked here. Told him where I'm parking. You come get her. Hung up the phone. Sat on the phone. In the car for maybe a good 30 minutes. The man never came. I didn't want to go back in the house. And in that split decision, take me out. Take me out. I looked up peaceful ways. to die, and I had come to the conclusion of what to do. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, because first of all, you can look it up, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. There's other ways. It'll be okay. Nothing's worth taking a life. In that moment, you don't understand it, you don't get it, but believe me, nothing's worth it. Pain is temporary and goes away. So I looked it up. I went, got what I needed to get. Called him several times. Please come get your daughter. He didn't believe me. Try not to get too emotional, but he didn't believe me. Left some text messages from my family just to let them know. Turned off my phone because to me I had did what I was supposed to do. I told you where I'm at to get your daughter. Did what I was supposed to do, because I'm thinking I'm about to be out. By the time he finds me, I'll be gone. That's not how it happened. Obviously, I'm still here. I woke up at the hospital. And the first thing I thought of when I opened my eyes was I saw my sister. And the first thing that I thought of was these babies in my stomach. And my daughter, you know? Because to my best recollection, the best of my memory, I don't remember him ever coming to get his daughter. So I'm like, you know, I couldn't talk. I was incubated. I had a tube down my throat. And my sister's there, and she saw my eyes, and she said, "Oh, sis, he's still here. You made it, sis. He's still here. It's gonna be okay. I have the boys." And I'm like, baby. And she's thinking I'm talking about my daughter. And she said, "She's okay. She's okay." And I said, and then I kept pointing to my stomach. And she said, "What? What?" I kept pointing to my stomach. And she said, "You pregnant?" I said, three. She said, 3. She's like, she called the doctor. She's like, "Oh my God," she said, "she's pregnant." And they're like, "Ma'am, calm down," because I'm freaking out. And whenever you're incubated and they put the thing down your throat, it's very painful. That's number one. And my instant reaction too is that you just want to, so they put me back to sleep because I was freaked out. They put me back to sleep. So I don't know when I woke back up. This time when I woke back up, there's these people by my bed who I don't know. I see my sister. I don't know who this lady is. And she was like, "Hey, sis, this is Crystal from ACS. You know, she needs to talk to you." I was like, "Fuck, ACS. Yes, I just want you to know that the baby's okay in your stomach, but they only see one. They only saw one baby, but the baby seems to be fine." So And the lady comes. And honestly, I don't know how I processed that. I couldn't even tell you how I processed that. The lady comes, she introduces herself. And she's just like, are you okay? You know, I know that, you know, I can't talk. I just wanted to let you know that the kids are okay. And we're going to have a conversation, right? But I'm glad you're here. And I passed out again. Came back to, this time I'm in another hospital room, okay? And they had removed the incubator. No, they were going to remove the incubator. They told me, like, somebody's coming, they're going to remove it. So they removed it. And they told me, you know, that ACS and everybody wants to come talk to you. And they wanted to understand what was going on. I told them what was going on. And I said, okay, so we had to figure out what to do with the kids. You guys, I didn't think any of this through. Clearly, I didn't think any of this through. Right? Because who's going to take care of my kids? The man who couldn't even take care of my heart, who didn't care about my heart, who didn't care about these kids, to be honest with you. He didn't give a damn about these kids. Because it's always left to me to take care of them. So, long story short, that's when I found out that my sister, she tried to leave the state with the kids because she wasn't trying to have them go into the system. They caught her before she could leave the state. They took the kids. They had to have an emergency court hearing where they agreed that she could take the kids. But the father was not going to let my daughter go. Excuse me. I said this earlier, he lost his mom. So for whatever reason, his connection to my daughter is more than you guys could understand. His connection to my daughter, he feels like that's his mother. You know, like that's the living embodiment of his mother. And for him to let her go with my sister, he wasn't going to let that happen. He felt like that was he losing his mom. He needed his daughter close to him. But the boys, fine. As long as he could talk to the kids and everything. Fine, because he's working. But my daughter had to go stay with his aunt and his uncle. Okay. So I found that out. Cried. They took me to a mental health hospital, which is like, I don't know, I've never been in prison, so I'm just like, for me it was like prison, because you're locked up, you can't leave. They make you put you in a room. It was hell, okay? They check you and everything, make sure you don't got nothing on you or anything, and I had to share a room with somebody, and then they put me on medications, and I just knew that I could not leave this place. I couldn't leave this place. I had no access to a phone. I couldn't have my phone. I had to eat the crap that they're giving me and everything like that. And without saying too much, I'm grateful for those learning experiences, because God pulled me out of that. I was trying to take myself out. And God was like, I got the book right here. What Kim say? You got to get up. You got to get up. Get your tail up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and figure out what you're going to do, because now you see, where were your kids going to go, Sashay? Where were your kids going to go? Who was going to take care of your children? He can't even have the kids, because I didn't know. What I didn't know at the time was that they were aware of the abuse, and they weren't going to that's another reason why they weren't going to let him keep the kids anyway. So the kids could never stay with him. It's not because he was working and he couldn't, I didn't know that. But he was fighting behind the scenes. I'll give him that. And that was another, So I'm in the hospital. I want to get out. He's coming to see me. He's bringing food. He's telling me like, okay, well, you got to, they're telling me what I got to do to get the kids back, because now my sister and my dad had custody of my boys, and his aunt and uncle had custody of my daughter. I had no rights to my children because they felt like I'm mentally incapable of caring for my children. And I got in a lot of trouble. I hurt a lot of people. I don't want to say too much. I'm still dealing with some stuff that, I hurt a lot of people. And now you're telling me I can't have my kids? My boys is out of state. My daughter's here. I'm locked up in this hospital. And they didn't want to let me out, y'all. They kept me in that hospital. Ooh-wee. Right before my birthday. I was in the hospital for like 2 months. I believe it was like 2 months. 6 to 8 weeks. I was in the hospital. They finally let me out. They released me to him. And I had to get checked up on. They came to the house weekly, counted my pills, make sure I was taking the medication. Mandatory therapy sessions. I take parenting classes. And see this mark of this beautiful scar of mine that I got from trying to end myself. Yeah, but all those things taught me a lot. But I was still in this house with this man. And he was telling me, oh, you see what you did because of you. Now we don't got these kids and da-da-da-da-da, And I'm just trying. I'm trying my best to just make it through because I want my kids back. And I'm pregnant. Let's not forget, I'm pregnant. So I have to go to court. And the judge is talking to me and she's telling me, that lady, I thought she was a bitch, but I do realize that she's good. So I'm doing everything that I possibly have to do. ACS is coming around. This lady's asking, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I don't think what people realize too is that just because somebody's in the back room don't mean they're not listening. I wasn't going to say nothing bad about this guy. Because as soon as I said he, her, I didn't say something that he felt wasn't right. I had to hear it all night. So I finally gave birth. I was able to get my kids back. That was another fight. My dad and my sister didn't want to get my kids back because they didn't want me to. I was still in the same situation. I was still living with this guy. They didn't like that, But me, in my defense, I didn't have nowhere to go. I was under the impression that if I didn't stay where I was at because of him, everything seemed to be me and him. We had to work together. That he was my babysitter to tell them I'm okay. So I stayed. Did everything I was supposed to do. Every time they got close to closing the ACS case, somebody, I know who it is now, somebody will call, make another report, keep that case open. Once again, me being mad at the person instead of realizing they felt like that was all they can do in this situation to make sure I was okay. And so we played the long game, until finally they closed the case. I swear, as soon as they closed the case, 2 weeks later was my other son's birthday, September 17th, my sweet baby boy, his birthday. Went out, celebrated his birthday, took all the kids. Now, right, I have 4 kids with me. I have older children, but I have 4 kids with me, 2 babies, 2 little babies, and a girlfriend of mine at the time. She was the only friend I had. You know, we all went out to go eat and took him to like Dave and Buster's so he can play some games and have cake and everything. And I even have this picture. I don't want to show my kids, but he had a good little birthday. And at the end of his birthday, the 2 boys decided they wanted to stay the night with my friend at her house. They wanted to spend the night. So I was like, okay, cool. I get a day. I get back home with the kids, the 2 babies. And y'all, here we go again. Where's the boys at? And I said, oh, you know, he wanted to stay the night at. What? I'm like, it's his birthday. He knew the girl. He didn't have a problem with her. What is the issue? If they're staying the night, I'm not out with them. The babies is here. He said, go get them. And I said, I'm not going to mess up this boy's birthday. I'm not. If you want, can we compromise and I'll go get him first thing in the morning? Okay? I'll go get him first thing in the morning. So, he went off on me. We argued all night. He argued because, honey, child, at this point in time, I didn't say nothing to him. I really didn't. I didn't get no sleep. But I wasn't arguing with this man. I get up early, bright and early in the morning, bright and early. Get the kids ready. Now it's, where are you going? To get the kids. You told me to get the kids. I'm getting the kids ready, the little ones ready, because you never want to watch these kids. He said, you know, I'm tired of your shit. Sick and tired of you. And I said, if you're so tired of me, then let me go. He said, go, leave, go. Oh, but you can't, right? Because they see us, they're going to take these kids. You're an unfit mother, right? Because that's in my head, like, oh, now I'm an unfit mother. They're never going to let me take my kids. I'm stuck with this guy. Even though the case was closed, I was just scared. Like, if he calls ACS, then they're going to tell me to go back. And if I don't stay, I can't have my kids. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of fighting with you. I think I'm just going to take the kids. I had called my friend of mine. This time she's on the phone. And I was like, I think, you know, I was asking her, can we just stay the night? Because I don't know what was going on with him. I couldn't tell you where this stuff was coming from. And she said, oh my God, again, you guys are fighting. And she's telling him, she's like, yo, calling his name. Like, can you please not, please. Like, she said she's coming to take the kids that could stay the night. Or, you know, she was trying to, you know, rationalize everything. And long story short, he threw hands and feet on me that day. While I had my kids. Don't know how I made it. Still had to take the kids after he done whipped my butt. Went to go pick up the boys. Came back home, but I had made the decision. I was leaving. I swear I had made that decision. I was leaving. He had to work that night. When I say I packed the bag with just one change of clothes for these kids to go to school, and like, I don't know why I was stuck on my kids going to school, but I brought a change of clothes so they can, you know, the next morning they got, but he had saw the bag. So I don't know what he was thinking. You know, he tried to start, but I made it out of there. I don't think he really thought I was leaving though. So when he realized at the end of the day, took my last money, because by this time I was working. I just got paid, took it, went to a hotel. When I say this lady was a blessing, okay, because the hotel room was really high, but she gave me a discount so I could pay for my 2 nights. That's all I could afford was 2 nights. Somebody had given me a phone number to Safe Horizon to call them. I had called them, and it took the full 2 days. It took the full 2 days for me to get somebody. And this lady told me, I talked to her over the phone, Suzanne, and she said, come on. When can you come? When can you be here? I said, right now, honey. I'm here. You know, I was at work. Even my job knew what. By this time, they were just like, what is going on? You know, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I wasn't able to perform at work or anything. So my job had given me the time to get it together. I went in, I took my kids with the clothes on our back. We had one change of clothes, guys. One change of freaking clothes. I didn't even have diapers and wipes, nothing. I went to the shelter. They took us in. That's a whole nother thing, a whole process thing. I remember the lady, she said, this is Miss Sampson. I remember she said, this is your home. You know, after the whole process, we're so tired and everything. And she's like smiling, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, like, yippee, this is my home. But you guys, I had gone from, let's understand, my circumstances that I thought I could not be delivered for, that I thought was better than being in the shelter. In my mind, anything was better than being in the freaking shelter. Now I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. Even though it's temporary, I was in a 2-bedroom apartment. Beautiful, clean, wonderful people. I went from staying in a 1-bedroom apartment with a bunch of people living in disgusting circumstances that comes with living with a bunch of people and living in the hood to this beautiful 2-bedroom apartment. God is good. And here I am today. I was so fed up when I said I wasn't going back. I knew I wasn't going back. This man, he called ACS on me again. See, that's another thing too. I was going to leave the situation alone. He called ACS. I was told, you need to go make a police report. Right? We knew you were being abused, but because you didn't want to open up your mouth, you were trying to protect him, we couldn't help you. Well, they say closed mouths can't get fed. We can't help you. We can't spoon feed you, man. You get 30-something years old. You're too damn old. We can't spoon feed you. Everything I was afraid of, I was delivered. In part to him, because of his actions trying to get control. Listen to his family. Called ACS. They told me to go file a police report. I went and filed a police report. That gave me my protection order. That granted me sole custody of my children. Okay? Now guess what? He has to take parenting classes. He has to take anger management classes. He has to do these things because you have to seek therapy. Because something ain't right, sir. Something ain't right with me too for my thoughts, because I wasn't turning to the Lord like I was supposed to. But something ain't right with you too. So yeah, go ahead and get that help. And here I am today. Out of being in that shelter, I gained true insight to myself as a person. I gained a relationship back with God that I'm so grateful for. That's number one. I gained real friendships, genuine, foundational, concrete friendships with sisters in Christ that love me. And when I say sisters, it's because we were in the domestic violence shelter, so it was women, it was women. But genuine friendships with people who love and checking on me, and I love and checking on me and hold me accountable, hold my hand and feet to the fire. Beautiful counselor who reassured me that I was doing the right thing and that I'm not weak, I'm strong. I found my voice. I found me again. I didn't know my right from my left. I didn't know who I was. I was so meek and mild and so, that was me. I had lost my voice from being this loud, bubbly spirit and person to being this big body little presence. That was me. And that man couldn't break me down. To me, wanting to share my story, because there's other people out there who are going through it. Some are worse. I don't even want to put in a comparison. Abuse is abuse. But I survived it. I'm here. I'm a better mother. I'm a better sister. Okay? I'm a better daughter because of it. I didn't care about nobody in those times but myself. I didn't care about my children. I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about myself. And in doing that, I was trying to take myself out this world, and I was going to leave them completely alone. And I realized that. Can't tell me nothing now. Can't tell me nothing now. I'm still working and building my relationship with God, because, you know, every day life be lifing. I have good days and I have bad days. The difference between the old Sashay and the new Shay is that this butterfly, you know, you can't clip my wings. You can bump me. I may go this way, but I'm going to pull it right back this way, because I'm looking to the word and the spirit now for answers instead of the world. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So like I said, that's where I'm at today. This is what brought me back to YouTube. This is why I want my podcast, my platform to share and give other people a chance to share. So I would really appreciate, you know, building up the comments and everything, any suggestions, people that may be going through some things themselves that need encouragement, words of advice. I'm here. There's lots of resources out there. If you need me to look some up, no matter where you're at, I will look them up right there with you, and I'll call and check on you. So that's my story. So like, comment, subscribe. Bye guys.